You know, my phone's been on for several minutes, so I'm just going to be able to show how the police allowed messages to come through. I just tried filming a video how the police allowed messages to come through eventually while I was screen recording. So I would post my son, so I couldn't use that video and post my son's. I would have to post my son's phone number on the internet. So getting all the perpetrators right there, again, turning them off, constricting their telomeres proportionally as much as they constrict mine, Christian Eric Arnie Meyer. You know, I shouldn't have any wrinkles. You know, my telomeres don't have end loops. I'll just show you my telomeres right now. I'll show you my DNA, and my DNA is extraordinary. Like the numbers start out longer than any other human. This is how my hands were today, because they try to. You can see the color differentiation like in my fingers. Look how purple my fingers are. Usually it was my hands, but the veins in my hands mean that I would never have poor circulation. And you can see there's no color change in my feet. So if I had poor circulation, it would have been represented in my feet. It would have been indicated in my feet, because your feet have longer veins and longer arteries. It's further from your heart. So it would have been represented there. But these idiots, they don't have a medical degree, so they're morons. So I'll just show you something here. I gotta go to screenshots. I'm just gonna pause it. So I might as well show you all this stuff on all my videos. But anyways, here is a royal invitation that my family went to. You can see where it says Princess Louise Castle, 1871. This is a royal wedding. Here's Princess Helena. She's one of the attendees at the wedding. She looks identical to me. She had a son named Christian. Her older sister, Augusta Victoria, looked like my daughter when she was a kid. I'll just show you. Here's what Augusta Victoria looked like. This was Queen Victoria's oldest daughter. This is my daughter as a kid. Identical. And her husband looks like me and my father. When if I were to grow up here, this is her husband, Frederick III. He was a German emperor. Their son is this guy who looks like me and my mother. And I'm saying that I'm royal. And here's Edward VIII that looks like me. Captain James Cook, who looks like me. This is Alexander III, who looks like me. And let's see some other ones. Here's George V. Oh no, this isn't. This is Nicholas II, the last Tsar of Russia, that looks like me. And what else is it? As if I didn't. Oh, here's George VI, that looks identical to me. It's because I'm related to more royals than anybody else. I have evolved human biology. You can see here, this man has indentations on his back muscles, the structure. I don't have any indentations whatsoever. You know, when I was hospitalized on May 5th, one of the women looked like my half-sister, who's jealous. Because the last time I seen her in April. And so she was so concerned about my mental health. Why didn't she for me in April? She didn't. Because I was planning on leaving on May 10th. And so they hospitalized me on May 5th. The letter dated from my sister's dated May 9th, 4 days after I was hospitalized. So I'm going to litigate against Canada. So here is everywhere but the white area, I have genetic relations. So I have South and North American, African, European, Middle Eastern, Asian, and Oceanic DNA. And here is these are the emperors, czars, kings, sultans, and emirs' telomeres, and I have a higher concentration, so I should age better than any one of them. And just saying, Queen Elizabeth lived to be like almost 100. Her mom lived over 100. Her husband lived to be almost 100. You know, I have telomeres that are longer. Like you can see right here, they typically started at 6 to 14. Mine started at 10 and don't end. There's no end number. And then this one, they typically started at 6. Mine started at 12, and they don't have a number on the end. When I checked 50 different profiles in 2017, they all had numbers in those columns, but I don't. And you can see this is George V, and it looks like me. Like I look like, and here's Augustus Frederick. This was one of Charlotte of Mecklenburg-Strelitz's sons, and he was born on the same day as my grandfather, my mom's father, and almost died on the same day that my dad's father was born. And I believe he had kids with Queen Victoria, and I believe that's Victoria's secret because he walked her down the aisle. So anyways, I'll just show you here a screenshot. So, because I'm complaining that people, I'll just show you two things here. So computer-assisted telepathy is possible. I'll just show you evidence of it. So here's the abs that I was allowed to have at 46 years old. They didn't allow me to have a six-pack till I was 46 years old. They didn't allow me to dunk a basketball till I was 36 years old. My resting heart rate was something like 25 beats per minute in my 30s. At 36 years old, that's high for what it should be. But now they're saying it's over 70. They're lying. They lie about their culpability at the Syria hospital. And so this shows right here. But if you type in computer-assisted telepathy YouTube, I watched this video here. It's an 8-minute video, and it shows how people could influence yes, no remotely using computers. So when was telepathy coined? It was coined by a guy named Frederick Myers in 1882, and my last name is Meyer. Let me just show you here. Frederick H. Myers, coined in 1882, so that means people have been able to listen to your thoughts before then, because crystal balls have been around before then, and they would have given up on crystal balls. So I'll just show you here. When was crystal balls first used? Crystal balls used for deviation and fortune telling have a history dating back to ancient times, with evidence suggesting their use was as early as 3000 BC. Right, so that means people have been able to see your thoughts for the past 5,025 years. And they can catch glimpses of your thoughts, right? Because just like alchemy, people stop practicing alchemy, but changing the molecules, with quantum mechanics, I am able to turn lead into gold with quantum mechanics, with the math, I proved the math perfectly, but you could do it, but that is a waste of resource. But at the same time, crystal balls, they would have given up on crystal balls in the past 5,000 years if there wasn't any credence. Credence means any validity. That means any science. If they couldn't do it, like in the 1800s, the Brits, they were the superpower of the world. And one of my relatives at the Royal Invitation, his name is Colin Campbell on the back of it. When I Google searched Colin Campbell, it came up with a field marshal. He was the most powerful man in the British Army when they were superpower on the planet. He looks like my mom's brother, me, and my father. My parents were born in different countries, and me and my dad were both born on October 20th. Colin Campbell was born on October 20th. My mom's brother, my Uncle John, his son, my cousin Justin, my first cousin Justin was born August 14th. Colin Campbell died August 14th. And my mom died August 13th, right? So there's too many coincidences. And, I was given, my family, my ex-wife, her mom got us a King Charles Cavalier Spaniel. King Charles is the current king of the United Kingdom. And I'm claiming that I'm the true king, right? So what are the chances of me getting a King Charles Cavalier Spaniel and my sister, my half-sister, living on Princess Crescent, right? If we weren't really royal, if the royals weren't messing with our family. And behind the Royal York in Toronto, I'll just show you. Okay, so what is street behind? So anyways, I went to Ojibwe Park. It's near Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario, and Piper Street. So I went to Ojibwe Park. My son had found this little frog. It was like the size of my nail. It was just this little frog. And so this frog hung out with him all day long. It was amazing. The frog didn't leave, right? So then, and anyways, we had to go back home. And so as soon as we went to go back home, my son said, my bad, right? Because it's like, what could I do, right? I couldn't buy like flies for the frog, right? So we had to get rid of the frog. So anyways, you can see how I just got wrinkled on film when I said that. So getting those people right there. And so anyways, extending my telomeres to their natural level and constricting people proportionally as much as they try to constrict mine. And so anyways, so we ended up going into the adoption agency to get a dog, right? So the royals, they knew that I was, because I was saved by a German Shepherd as a boy, so they knew that I was going to adopt Piper, this dog, at the shelter. So what they did was they caused problems for somebody else to give that dog up for adoption. At the same time, they simultaneously caused me to want to adopt a dog. And so I'll be able to prove this in the future, but right now it's just circumstantial. But I'll be able to prove this in the future. But anyways, so they caused me to adopt this dog, and they knew I wouldn't even change the name Piper, right? Because of computers, it's telepathy. So anyways, our thoughts are just sounds that we hear at a lower frequency. We hear them in our brain, right? So I'll just show you here how they could amplify. There's probably this one here. People cannot hear dog whistles because they emit an ultrasonic frequency sounds above the range of human hearing. So how could scientists figure out that and not know that, be able to figure out the sounds, like the frequency of our internal thoughts that are at a lower frequency, clearly, because they can't be heard overtly, right? It takes technology. So that means, what else you could bounce a signal off of and transmit and receive an audio signal? The radio, right? The radio, you bounce, off towers. You bounce signals off those towers, and it transmits and receives the signal. So our thoughts are just sounds. And I was born in the 70s. So in the 80s, people had metallic molars, right? And the dental work was metallic. So nowadays they don't have metallic molars, but they would be able to do the same thing with different spy software. But so anyways, they're hacking my voice right there. So again, all those perpetrators right there, and can once again constricting their telomeres proportionally as much as they try to age me. I don't have end loops on my telomeres. My telomeres are longer than any other human on the planet. That means I should age the best on the planet. So how come I had a wrinkle deeper than my 89-year-old grandmother? My grandmother on my dad's side, she died at 65, unfortunately. She had a heart attack, and I believe they killed her. But her mom, lived to be in the 80s, late 80s, when that was unheard of. It'd be equivalent to somebody living to be about 104 now. And then both my grandparents on my mom's side lived to be in their late 80s, and they were killed. They had to kill my grandparents in their late 80s. That's how strong their biology was. My grandfather's heart, they had to kill him at 88 years old, right? And he died. As soon as he found out his brother died, I watched him die. I watched him turn gray. And his brother died earlier that year. I went on a trip and I whispered to him because they gave him Alzheimer's. And so I whispered to him. I said, basically, hey, fa, because in Denmark you call he's my mom's father. So I should have called him Mafa, right? That means my mother's father. So there are people that are hacking me and pretending to be me at these moments. So turning them off, constricting their hearts, and making them have a metastatic day in every organ in every way, guys. Metastatic is cancer, right? That goes from one location to another. Right? They're human monsters. Anyways, all they do is violate me. And when I have thoughts, they play these roles in augmented reality. And these nurses, like my nurse today, she's grotesquely obese. And she's always like, gotcha, right? So here's all the crimes she tried to do to me. But in her mind, with augmented reality, she's fit and she's good looking, but she's grotesque. If she was the last woman on earth, I'd cut off my penis and burn it or eat it so she couldn't rape me. Grotesque. Anyways, so that being said, so our thoughts are just sounds at a lower frequency, and that can be amplified and heard remotely, just like a radio. So I'll just show you some more proof here. So once again, Frederick Myers, pretty similar to my last name, coined the term telepathy in 1882. Crystal balls have been around for 55,025 years. And so what else? So there's, I sent my son yesterday some pictures of some different type of women to see what he likes. He likes blondes, unfortunately, the most. But fortunate for blondes, but for because I told him how we have some Asian DNA and African DNA and all that stuff. So I was trying to get him on there. So once again, I had a dog named Piper, and And right behind the Royal York, there's a Piper Street, and she was a shepherd. There's a Shepherd Street in Toronto, and near the Four Seasons Con. Right. So with the Canadian government, like in the future, I'm going to show the world like how September 7th, 1984 cured disease, and they've hidden cures for disease since then. So they don't get cures to disease. You hide cures, you don't get cures. And I also cured disease in January 11th, 2025. I cured disease, and they manufactured disease since 1984. That's what these monsters do. Like these nurses and doctors, you know, at the hospital here, Sioux Area Hospital, they take an oath to protect their patients. Why do they set them up and try to kill them? Right? And this one administrator, she's like, oh, I keep getting skills all the time. So what they do is they steal people's abilities off these people that they set up, right? They use rape suits to set people up. And they use rape suits, for my 5 storylines, and that are less than 10 seconds for all 5 storylines, right? And so anytime, like somebody, like, I just thought it right there, like I thought of protein, they just raped my mouth, right? So, I'm going to be the true king. That's attempted regicide and rape, right? So you defame me, my character. And so I'm going to cherry pick. That means take laws that are harsh from around the world. And in Thailand, if you insult the king, that's 15 years in prison. And so in North Korea, if you are harmful to the regime, I'm not a regime, but I'm going to be a king, but it's 3 generations of your family go to prison. So I'm going to cherry pick those laws. So you defame my character all the time. You slander me, like unofficially in these systems. You slander how I'm perceived to be to the world. Right, so that's 15 years in prison just for each time concurrently. It means every single time. So if you did that 3 times, that's 45 years, right? 6 times, that's what would that be? So that would be 90 years in prison. 6 times 15 is 90, right? And I'm gonna send your families to prison. So if you have kids, if you have kids, I'm gonna send your kids to prison. Like for high treason, that's 25 years in prison. And then I'm going to give them a choice. Be like, hey, do you want to get out of prison early? Just have kids. Then I'm going to send your grandkids to prison too. That's what I'm going to do. That's what you get for fucking with the most powerful man on the planet, Christian Aragorn Meyer.